Hey YouTube, how are you? Suzette Speaks here. I'm back with another great show. Glad you guys are watching. Please go ahead and like, comment, and share, and welcome to the Suzette Speaks show. If you're watching for the first time, this is a show I do every couple of days to talk about issues that affect everyday people. And today we're going to be talking fitness and health. Who's with me? Right. Who's with me? I am talking to an extraordinary creator. She is a woman here in South Florida who helps produce or produces, I'm sorry, a wonderful triathlon. So if you guys have never, ever, ever considered doing a triathlon, this is the show for you. We're going to inform you, educate you, and I'll be learning right along with you how all of this works and what you should be doing to prepare and the benefits of participating in a triathlon. So yay, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Invisible Car. I was afraid it was kind of a Monday type stream, but I'm glad to see so many of you in the chat. Please drop a comment. Let me know where you are watching from. Let me know you're watching. I'm grateful that so many of you are here. Invisible Car, I see you. Miss B Finesse. Hey girl, I see you. Welcome. As you know, I bring interesting topics to the YouTube space. And usually, topics like this, I am learning right along with you. I've never, in full disclosure, done a triathlon. I've only watched them on TV. I found them very interesting. And if you have never, ever either watched or really don't know a lot about it, it's cool. We're going to learn about them today. And there's the reason why I am partnering with this beautiful lady who I'm about to bring up is because on Sunday I will be hosting a triathlon for the first time. So I won't be participating in the race. I will be on the sidelines cheering on the finishers, announcing their times, the sponsors, and other things. But I thought, you know what? This is going to be a unique experience for me. So why not tell you guys about it as well? I was very curious. I went to her website, and I'll drop it in the comments shortly. But I saw on 𝑙𝑖𝑛ativedevelopment.com all the wonderful benefits of participating in a triathlon. And I saw that it was all women. I was like, hey, it's called Mighty Mujer. Mujer, of course, we're in South Florida, is a Spanish word for woman. So Mighty Woman, Mighty Mujer Triathlon Miami is coming up. And I'll be a part of it. Like I said, hosting. Not this year. Wouldn't it be crazy if I actually got in shape enough to do the run, the bike, the swim? I'm probably most afraid of the swim. I can't swim that well. I can swim in pool swim, but I couldn't imagine being in open water and like swimming for however long they have to swim. We're going to learn about it today. Drop a comment, y'all. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. If you're brand new, welcome to the Suzette Speaks show. This is a special edition. I kind of threw it in there for this week because I am going to be a part of an amazing event coming up this coming Sunday called the Mighty Mujer Miami Triathlon. I didn't know much about it. I've been learning just in preparation for doing some emceeing and hosting this Sunday as a part of the event. And I thought, why don't I bring the founder on and find out more about how she got inspired to actually create, run, and produce such a huge event. Again, if you're looking for fitness goals, if you're looking for spiritual goals, which is something we talked about briefly just before we got on here live, I was like, I didn't realize there was so much of a spiritual component to doing triathlons. But again, for us, particularly, I say us women, and I say more specifically women of color, we might want to give this a second look. We might want to open ourselves up to possibly giving this a try because there's so many benefits, not only fitness, right, but mental strength, spiritual strength as well. So I'll be learning about how she did this and how she continues to bring events like this to the South Florida region. And I'm really excited to be a part of her big event, the Mighty Mujer Miami Triathlon, coming this Sunday. So even if you're curious and you just want to come and watch, you can do that. You don't have to be in it. You don't have to register. I think it might be too late to register. I'll ask her. But you don't even have to participate. You could come and watch. And I think it's something very special about the dedication process, the training process, I guess, that most of these big type of events take. And I think it's also, like I said, it's individual. So there's a dig deep down inside of yourself that happens that you kind of, wake up. You are going to amaze your own self, honestly, by not only the preparation process, but actually I think, completion of such a dynamic event. So we're going to bring her on shortly. If you have questions about what a triathlon, is, how to train for it, what does it take, what it's like having been in one, don't ask me. I'm about to bring on my guest for you to ask her, because I'm curious myself. So hello. Drop a comment. Good to see you guys. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a weird one for me. I took my COVID booster. It knocked me out for like 4 days. It was the weirdest thing, you guys. But still glad I have access to it and was able to do that. So anyway, welcome. Good day again to Miss B Finesse. It says Sergio Wilson. Hey, Sergio says, I see he has to step in on this, Suzette. I've been doing triathlons and trail races for years with my international friends because Black people don't see. I didn't want to say it, Sergio. Sergio will tell it all right up front. Sergio, you didn't let me warm up yet, Sergio. Thank you, because Black people don't do. I don't know, because I saw a few pictures as I was Googling triathlons and such of Black folks. It wasn't a whole lot though, Sergio. It definitely wasn't the majority. However, much love, thank you, Sergio, to you as always. And I do think this is a part of why I wanted to do this show today. Honestly, straight up. I wanted to have that discussion. Is there a reason why? Or are we afraid? Are we never, once we know someone who has done something, we're like, okay, yeah, maybe I'll do it. That was like the mud run here in Miami. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, or if you have mud runs in your cities, where it's kind of crazy. And you're afraid until you do it. And then you have a lot of fun when you do it. And you're like, oh my gosh. The same thing with me, I felt about marathons. I've never run a marathon, but a lot of my, white friends, they've run marathons, and I still can't get like to the why. But I do think not only is it physical, it's mental, and in fact, spiritual for some. So I do think there's some reasons to do this. Good afternoon, Joshua. Ramsir, I didn't know you were in San Diego. Big up yourself. Welcome, Joshua. Nice to see you. You talking about you can do it. Hello, I definitely could do the MC, and that part I'm very sure of myself on. But the physical one, honestly, looking through the website and the pictures and watching some videos made me think, I know I could do the biking and I could do the running. I'm nervous about the swimming, bro. I'm nervous about swimming. I'm one of those, I don't float well. My bones are thick. I don't know if you guys know, when you got those solid bones. I don't float very well. I don't. I'm telling you, in water, I'm like, boop, right to the bottom. Even in the ocean, I can float on my back, but it's like, as soon as I turn vertically, it's a wrap. So I'm a pool swimmer, and I think about open ocean very differently. I have a lot of respect for the ocean. So, but we would see. I don't know. You guys make me curious. Has anyone done, besides Sergio, thank you, has anyone else done a triathlon? Drop a comment. Hey, Chemo, nice to see you. Hey, Doug, what's up? Always throwing the deuces. Nice to see you. And Sergio adds, I also been a club swimmer. Oh, so that's why you can do this. You can swim. Okay. Swimming is always, your strongest. I would probably just tell myself, don't drown, get to the buoy. And I don't mean to laugh. And I know drowning is a serious issue. Sorry. I just mean in terms of my own physical abilities right now as a swimmer. Bruh, I would have to get conditioning and a coach. I just know I'm not going to lie to myself. I'm not going to go out there and look crazy. But thank you for that, Sergio. See you, Gaston's World. Fantastic. I am so proud of him. He's had some fire shows recently. Gaston, big up yourself. Gaston's World is a hodge. Oh, I'm talking about Gaston. I'm putting up Doug. Hey, Doug. That's what I want. Gaston's World, what's up? Gaston had a wonderful reaction show to the copyright claims. If you guys saw the lead attorney show, his stream, he was talking about some copyright strikes that some other YouTubers, to remain nameless, has placed on some of his content. And Gaston had wonderful a very insightful show on it just a few days ago. So if you are interested in a kind of follow up to that, please check out 𝘎𝐼𝐽𝑆 World. He is a wonderful YouTuber, good friend, and I'm so proud of you, bro. Keep up the great work. Road to 1,000. Cannot wait for you. Hey, Sun Breeze, Bay Area in the building. Thank you. It's awesome to hear something new in our YouTube friends' lives. Thank you, Sun Breeze. Thank you for being here. We do like new stuff. We have to try. This is our thing. You're going to stay the same if you keep doing the same stuff, guys. Same crowd, same circle, same people, same events and adventures. It's going to be, the same. And I was just telling a friend, I went to brunch yesterday, my first outing since the booster. We sat and we talked, had a wonderful time. And we were just talking about that. I was like, yo, every time I go to an event, actually, I'm really looking forward to Sunday because I know so many people. At an event, I'm like, I have not met anyone new, which is crazy because South Florida is a big place. But if you're going to the same events with the same circles, you're not in new circles. So I'm actually very excited to meet new people, see new people, experience something different. But yes, thank you, Sunbreeze, for that encouragement and welcome. Yes, Sergio, you told it all right off the bat. You trying to tell all the business that we don't necessarily register. But I think we will see some benefits, like a lot of benefits, and we should give triathlons consideration. You guys open to it? Why not? All right, without further ado, I am going to bring up our very special guest for today. She is, again, the founder of 𝘎𝑗𝑆 Miami Triathlon. It's coming up this Sunday at the C.B. Smith Park. If you guys are down here, you'll know where I'm talking about. If you're watching the replay, please also hit the like button, hit the subscribe. But yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about her life, how she got into producing events like this, the benefits she's experienced, and why others should and could do the same. Are y'all ready? Well, please give. I love it. Chemo says, I have to pull your Caribbean card. All of us, no. Ironically, a lot of people from the islands cannot swim, which is crazy. But especially for our parents' generation, they can't swim. But yes, I will need work on that if I'm to do a triathlon. But I want to welcome, without further ado, my special guest for today. She is, again, the founder of, y'all look it up, Dominative Development, and they're going to be producing the 𝘎𝑗𝑆 Miami Triathlon this Sunday at C.B. Smith Park. I may even go live from there to give you guys a taste of what's going on, but I can't wait to hear from her. Y'all, please welcome Miss Christina Reddick. Give her a warm Suzette Speak Show. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, Christina. If I can get you on, yay. One more time. Yay, there she is. Welcome, my darling. Thanks for being here. How are you?
Oh my God, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be here and to share the knowledge and just my experience. And hopefully we get, if not some triathletes, registration is still open.
Okay, cool.
We do online registration Thursday. And then if you want to register after Thursday, you have to come to what we call packet pickup and register at our bike sponsor, which is Alex's Bike Park out in Alex's Pro Bike Shop out in Weston, Florida, on Saturday. So you can still drag your friend who's never done a triathlon. If you've done a triathlon, drag your friend with you, and we'll get into all that. But yes, registration is still open.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited. So you guys can still register. It's going to be fun. Like I said, I'll be spectating and hosting, working at the same time, just taking it all in, y'all. So if this is something that interests you, I see there are some professionals apparently who have done a triathlon before and may be interested, maybe having had not done it before. You want to come check it out. Come check it out. It's open. Registration is open. All right. So definitely check out the description and you'll find more information with the website of how to register. So, Miss Christina, this is the first time we've only been talking, guys, through email and through Instagram.
Oh my God! Yes, spoke with seeing each other.
This is the first time I saw her. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful with her silver fox hair. I love it. So this is our first time actually meeting before Sunday, which is great. And I just said, yeah, let's make it happen. Let's talk about it. Talk about how you got into this, how you got into the sport, how you got into events. went from being a triathlete to actually hosting your own triathlon. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you grew up, and your first triathlon. What made you do your first triathlon?
So I have a crazy grow up story, but I will just say I'm a native Miamian, however we say that. So I was
Okay,
born
cool.
in Miami. I moved to Broward when I was about 11 years old. And I worked for 15 years at FIU in the Wellness and Recreation Department. So that's how I came to become a triathlete.
Ah, nice.
I had a boss. His everyone knows who my boss was. His name is 𝙒𝘼𝘽𝙎𝘾𝙃. I hope he hit the button and is watching this. But it was actually him who came up with the crazy idea. He came in my office one day and he would go and do triathlons with some of the students and other people in our department and just in general. I had never gone to one. I did cross country in high school. So I went to St. Thomas Aquinas my first 2 years of high school, and they have a phenomenal sports program. And I ran cross country because basically I can walk and run and it's walk on. So anyone who walks on and comes to practice makes the team. And that was my mindset. They're not going to cut me. So I learned a lot about endurance sports and the mental aspect that endurance that plays into endurance sports. From that time in high school, I realized, what stuck with me is the saying that it's like 95% mental and 5% physical, which is probably, I don't know if there's any actual scientific evidence. That's kind of what our coaches would tell us. And I somewhat experienced that in practice through pacing. So when we were in practice, I would run next to a very fast girl and, clock like a 8-minute mile. And then I would do this race and I'd come in as a 13-minute mile. And the coach would always say in practice, you can't, you just need a pacer. You need to learn to pace yourself. Well, fast forward. So I'm working in wellness recreation, always believed in endurance sports and went back to running whenever I had any challenges in life. I would go to Hollywood Beach, which is one of the places we would train in cross country, and I would run a mile or, from the band shell to whatever, I would just do that. And then, so my boss, 𝙒𝘼𝘽𝙎𝘾𝙃, came in my office one day. Back then, FAU in Boca was having their 25th anniversary triathlon. And he threw the flyer on my desk and he said, here, you're going to do this just like this here at FIU. And it's going to be great. And I just kind of was like, this is one of those crazy ideas. If I just don't say anything for 30 days, it'll go away. Honestly, I hate that part. And then he's having he wouldn't let it go. He's having a follow-up meeting with me. He's like, so have you done anything? I'm like, no. Are we still doing this?
Oh boy.
And I realized, okay, if I was going to do this, if I was actually going to do this and I was going to produce quality events, the first thing I needed to do was to become a triathlete, to experience a triathlon myself. And also observe a triathlon. So I went to one, and first I observed, and then I just came away saying oh my God, there's all this stuff going on at the same time. Why does he think I can do this? And then I came back, I said, can't we just start with a 5K? And he's like, no, we're not going to do a 5K. That's not. We're going to do a triathlon. Come on, And again, I went back to that time in cross country where I was taught it's 95% mental, 5% physical. And I said, all right, so maybe hosting events is kind of the same calculation. Obviously he believes in me and he sees something in me that he thinks that I'll be good at this. And he's going to show up. So
So I love the fact that you started out. Shout out to all my high school athletes. If you played a sport in high school, let me know. I too didn't run cross country, but I played basketball and volleyball in high school. I loved high school sports. I was very competitive. And like you, I think it just was a great outlet of just getting your mind right. I was heavily in like a hard academic program. You went to St. Thomas, I went to BA, Boyd Anderson. I was in the IB program. So I was very like, it was rigorous in terms of the academics. So they couldn't believe I had time to play sports, but I was like, yeah, no, I'm gonna play these sports because you guys are gonna stress me out like crazy.
Right?
But I love it that you were kind of already an endurance, as you call it, athlete, and got in a job where people were like, hey, why don't you do something bigger? Why don't you do something, like a triathlon and put it together? And here you are hoping they forget, and they never forgot. So when was the first one? So wait. So you said you needed to do it first. When was the first time you participated in a triathlon? And what was it like for you? You said it was crazy. A lot of things were going on at the same time, but how was it in terms of your performance?
So, I mean, triathlon, there's always going to be a lot of grassroots in everything, right? Almost in every industry. And I want to say back then there was a lot of people at the time that were in my circle and in my network that I did not know to tap on. And that's something I want to say for other people producing events or thinking of producing an event, and it seems like this is something out of your comfort zone or whatever. I basically took the flyer and called Rosemary Dunbar, who was the race director for the FAU triathlon back then, and asked her if she would talk to me and help me out. And in that conversation, she offered me an entry into her race. And so that was actually the first triathlon I did. Ironically, you mentioned the ocean swim. The ocean was so rough that day they canceled the ocean swim. So we ran on the beach, biked on A1A, and then did a run on the sidewalk. So that was actually the first triathlon I did. Now, before that, I felt like since I was at the university, I had to create a community of people that were excited about this. And I also wanted to make sure that it had a student first initiative. Because at the time that I was working there, everything that was really big. Like everything is student first, student first, student first. Well, it's kind of a chicken and egg situation when you start talking about student first, because students come and they don't know what to ask for. They don't know how to, until you're pushed out of your comfort zone or someone offers you something, you kind of don't know what you want. Or you don't know what you want to try, at least. And so through that, I created really open for everyone. So faculty, staff, whoever would show up, the FIU Triathlon Club. And that really fed the student involvement and leadership. And
yeah.
And I didn't really know anything about the industry. And it's funny, you touched on that, Black people don't do this, right? Well, there's a couple things I have about that, but I want to mention something that I came across recently, and this sticks with me. I don't know how many of you guys have watched the Netflix special 𝙒𝘼𝘏𝑾. It's a food history.
Oh, yes, that was so good. Yes, when absolutely.
Interviewing that gentleman in New York, the real mother shucker, and he says this one line: there is nothing out there that's not for us. And I'm not part of us. I'm a privileged white woman.
It's all good.
So when he said there is nothing that's not out there for African Americans,
absolutely,
that's home for me, because that's what triathlon is. There is no one that triathlon is not for. And it doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter whether your religious beliefs, if you're Muslim, if you have to wear certain types of coverings. I mean, we have Orthodox Jewish women doing triathlons across the world. Triathlon is for everyone. It can be for everyone.
Absolutely. I can agree 100%. I just think it's a lack of exposure.
Exactly.
Once we know someone, it sounds terrible because, Venus and Serena Williams were not the first people to play tennis ever that were African American. Right. We had several before, and but having those role models, sparked a new generation's interest in tennis. So I think sometimes not having beautiful folks like ourselves involved, or maybe like a huge name, sometimes, we pay less attention. I wouldn't even say we don't think we can. I think it's sometimes we just don't even know that it's there, and it's like you said, just for everyone and for us in general. I saw a couple questions here. I'm going to back up a little bit. Thank you to the people that are just joining. Thank you very much. Hit the like button, Mr. Untouchable Wagwan Star. How are you? Dream Out Loud. Nice to see you. Says I would consider it. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sunbreeze says thank you, Christina, for having Suzette host. Look at you. You thank her for having me. Thank you very much. It is a big deal. It is a big deal. I'm glad to see you, though. Chemo says, I ran 100, 200 meter in high school. Yeah, too bad knees are shot now. Too bad my knees are shot out. Yes, that can happen. They asked, here we go. Mr. Untouchable said, when did she do her first triathlon? So when was that?
I had to be, well, the first triathlon I produced was March of 2012. So that had to be November or October of 2011. So 2011.
Ooh, so almost 10 years ago. Whoa, that's pretty cool. So I could picture myself, and y'all know, please drop if you would give triathlon a try. If you've played sports in high school and you think you might still have some of those skills that may be applicable in this context, let us know. And if you know people who have run or who have participated, I can't just say run, who have participated in a triathlon before, let us know if you've gone. Somebody's talking about LOL, did some track and some flag football. It's all good, Mr. Untouchable. Boxing, running, cricket, and soccer. Nice. Track and cricket, says some of my international audience. Track and cricket, I see you. Talking about how do you do? I'm sure you can do a triathlon in a hijab. And they have swimwear with the headpieces. I've seen it. Cute bathing suits with everything covered. Everything covered. Except for the face. Yeah.
I will say it's not as mainstream as it needs to be. And there are triathletes. I'm in a program called Feisty Triathlon. It was started by a group of women based out in Canada. Sarah Gross, she's was a professional triathlete. She started it. She has a media company now. And something called the Outspoken Woman in Triathlon. And that's where I met some women that are doing this in hijab.
Wow. So definitely don't count them out. Don't count them out. There are people from all cultural, ethnic, religious backgrounds doing this, and they're making it happen. So cool to know.
I see the question from Sergio. So my distance that I love to do myself personally is the Olympic. The races I produce here in the States are sprint, and that's because I focus on accessibility for beginners. So at the university,
what is Olympic? I'm sorry for those of us who did not do cross country. What does that mean?
So when you ask a question like what distance, it talks about the distance of the swim, bike, and run. So for example, sprint is usually around 400, 300 yards swim, 10 to 15 mile bike, and 5K run. And you do that all in one sitting. And there's a fourth discipline in triathlons that no one talks about that I believe is what makes the sport what it is. And that's transition. So you don't swim and then go to a locker room and change. You swim and you get out and you go to your bike, and within a couple minutes, you're off on your bike ride. And you've left behind the swim and you're like, holy crap, 10 minutes ago, I was thinking I was going to drown. And now I just passed this person on a bike, and I feel like the most badass woman on planet.
Woo!
Yes, that's what transition does, basically.
Wow.
So in all the distances, transition stays about the same. You have T1, so you swim, and then you have transition 1, which we call T1. Then you bike. So Olympic distance bike may be about 25 miles. A half would be the halves are more set, so you have half and full. And the full is what we refer to as the Ironman level or the Ironman distance. But the half will be about 56 miles on a bike. And then you have T2. So you transition again. You bring in your bike, you rack your bike. Most of the time for a sprint or Olympic distance triathlon, it's the same transition area. But if you're doing a longer distance, like a half or a full, depending on the place that you're doing it, it may be a completely separate area.
Wow.
So for race directors, that's a lot more tricky. That's like the full triathlon for race directors. It's setting up T1 and T2 in two different spots because you have two different transition bags and you have to make sure everyone's stuff is in the right place.
Wow.
And then after T2, you're off on the run. Now I say I focus on sprint triathlons in the States because our company has been discussing pre-COVID hosting the first full distance triathlon in the Caribbean, to be honest. I mean, I don't know if I've ever said this
Nice.
before.
Okay.
So we
Nice.
have been working with Trinidad. So we did announce the event in Trinidad.
Wow.
To COVID, we played around with moving the date right before COVID really shut down the world.
Mhm.
And now we're looking for 2023 to host that. So it would be the pretty much probably the only full distance triathlon in the Caribbean because Trinidad has the landmass. And that's you don't want your long distance race to be like a circle over and over again because
Mhm.
the athlete. So
Mhm.
Sergio, I expect you when we do announce registration for that one, I expect you to be one of the first people registered.
Sergio, the call has been made. Let's go. Let's go. I'm with Miss Christina Reddick. She is the founder of the Mighty Mujer Miami Triathlon, which will be this Sunday at CB Smith Park. I have the honor of being the MC and hostess this year, and she's here telling us about how this triathlon thing works and what you do to prepare is my next question. Let's check the chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. Can you believe she's bringing it to the Caribbean? Yay. Trinidad, big up yourself. That would be huge. But I'm just starting. I don't even know what, the swim. I am picturing myself getting hit in the water by people swimming and freaked out. And like, as you're saying, like, I'm about to drown. I'm about to drown. I'm not going to drown. And telling myself I can do it. And we're talking distances. We're talking transitions. I do remember like watching on television, that quick strip off your clothes, get into the dry clothes, jump on your bike, and you run in to find your correct bike or whatever. It was just so intense. And like you said, it's a part of every, it's a part of the race, thinking about and executing that transition phase. And as a race producer, you have to think about quite clearly and strategically how to have athletes have a good experience and a I guess a safe one too, to be able to go from one to another. Yeah, I'm pumped, y'all. Are y'all pumped? Let me know. I see it. Here goes Mr. Untouchable. I like this lady. Is she from South Florida too? She's from Miami. She's from Miami. Yes, she's good people. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's like, so you only bring on South Florida people. No, no, no. I have other people I'm coming up with. So Sergio says, so the IT circuit, baby. Yeah, you are a real one, Christina. Sergio approves. Sergio approves. I love it. I love it. 25 miles after swimming. Biking, the miles go faster when you're on a bike.
Well, I will address that. And the solution to that is a relay team. Now, not every race offers a relay team option, but all my events do. And again, even for the long distance races, it's still about accessibility. So not everyone is going to have the time and the scope and the energy to train for all three if they want to train. Now, I always say if you're doing a sprint triathlon, you can show up and do the if you know how to swim, you know how to ride a bike, you have all the equipment, you can show up and do a sprint triathlon. It's not gonna knock you out or kill you to do it. Like my personal belief is our bodies can handle it without the training. However, if you want to have a great experience, if you want to have a competitive experience, and if you want to feel part of a group while you're doing an individual race, I strongly suggest you train, and you train with a coach or a club. We have tons of options in South Florida. Our particular race, our sponsor coach, we have two. So we have Coach Erin from Full Circle Coaching, and she has been with us from the very beginning. And she trains athletes year round. And then we have Coach Alex from Build Tri, and he really, I met him, he's a graduate student from FIU, and I met him, and that's how we came to be. We just kept in contact, and he was like, he graduated, and I'm no longer with FIU, so I did resign back in January. But yeah, I still keep in touch with all those triathletes today, and it's, you know, it's it's about having a good experience and a competitive experience. But when you're doing it, what I find most people say is after they've done their first triathlon, they believe they can do anything.
Ooh.
Yeah. And so that kind of is what keeps me in it and keeps me working, and what I, what keeps me believing I can do things like end sexism in sports through triathlon. Like when I'm in the environment as a race director and I'm feeling the energy of other people and having that experience, I realized, like, okay, if you come together and you have certain energies and you have certain experiences together and you're in this collective, even if you're competing as an individual, but you're having a transformative experience together, you can shift the world. And I think that goes back to the spirituality part of on our website. And it's, it's also something that I believe is different than a long distance swim or a running event. And that's because of the transition part. So there's not a lot of things out there that we can do that focuses on that shift that we have to create in ourselves to be able to then succeed or finish what we're trying to do. And we have to do that twice in a triathlon. So you have to shift from the swim to the bike to the run. Even if you're on a relay team, you still experience that, but you experience that as a team member. And that's why I believe it's really doable for anyone. So that's how, if you don't want to do the 25-mile bike after swim, I get you, especially because that distance, you'd probably be swimming about a mile. So go ahead and get a relay team together and
relay. I'm with you, because I was like, which part can I be the most effective contributor? I'm not gonna be in the swim. I was like, I'm with the bike. I could do the bike. Run, I'm not the best. How you said? How long is the run?
Well, for �々𝘾𝙾, it's a 3-mile run.
That's not bad. I like long distance. My brother always teases me that I like long distance anyway. But I'm not gonna be fast, y'all. I'm just gonna do my little thing.
And we have ladies that walk the run at �々𝘾𝙾.
Okay, so no, I picture people that are like abs, washboard abs, and like.
No, that is not our race. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean,
no, big up to the people with abs, but we still working on ours.
They're hidden. They're under the pillow.
Thanks to COVID. They're coming back though. Slowly but surely, they're coming back. Yeah. But yeah, I picture people that are like super fit and like, those women that are like CrossFit looking type women. So you're saying that's not the norm necessarily for your race?
No, and for the brand in general, that's not the norm. So �々𝘾𝙾 Triathlon is part of a national brand. I produced the Florida race here in Miami and the winter virtual race. So after COVID, everyone that produced a race tried the virtual races. I love the virtual racing option. So I said, hey, we'll continue with the winter virtual race, because if you're going to do something in the winter, it should be based in South Florida anyway. So it's part of a national brand, and I met the founder of �々𝘾𝙾 Triathlon about maybe 5 years ago at one of these big triathlon conferences put on by USA Triathlon. And she was looking to expand, and I kind of introduced her to another company that I had known in the South Florida area, and they passed on it, quite frankly, because it's a women-focused race. So it's a women-only event. We ask that all participants are women or identify as women, and that the people who don't identify as women and help support the women in this race. And it's purposeful in that, so that way we can help tip the gender scale in triathlon as a whole.
Okay.
So the more women that are coming into the sport, doing their first race, getting hooked, getting involved, becoming race directors like myself, becoming leaders in the area. I'm one of 2 female race directors that I know of in South Florida, and Florida is the largest state for triathlon in all of America.
Wow.
So right there shows you like these type of events are necessary. I hope we get to the day where women only events aren't necessary and it's just, across
Everybody. But this
field.
gives you a little safe space, ladies. I'm with you. I'm with you because it can be very intimidating. Like I thought I was like, whoa, give me 2 years to get in shape and I'll be ready for this. But if we're okay with, those of us who are a work in progress,
Yeah.
not being the fastest swimmer, definitely not being like the runner who can just sprint the 3 miles or anything like that. And it
And
allows you a safer space to be like, just competitive, but also supportive.
right. And part of what Mighty Mohair does in all of the races, so whether it's the El Paso race or the Miami race or the Tucson race, um, or the Austin race, because that's the race is coming up, they have free clinics leading up to event day. So if you know you can't find a coach or you can't get yourself to commit, right? Because that's also a thing, like signing up for the coach, but am I going to see it through? Am I going to be the only one, which is never, am I going to be the only one who, doesn't have the right kind of tri suit or doesn't look good in a bathing suit or doesn't know how to put
Right.
on,
Or during the transition, my little pouch fall out and then you're like, boop,
like am I going to be that person? Is it going to be tricky? Like, how's it going to be? And I will say it is not. But just me saying it is not, sometimes it's not enough. So we have free clinics leading up to the event. And we try to make them of different varieties. So one of our clinics pre-COVID was a wine night where you came, you had a glass of wine or a coffee, because now every coffee shop in South Florida also serves wine. So it
yeah.
was a local coffee shop.
Welcome to
And
COVID. Wine with your coffee? Sure. I'll have some wine.
And there was a couple of triathletes there who were experienced that were willing to do an AMA session with whoever was interested, and there was no pressure. You didn't have to register for the race. You didn't have to be registered for the race. You just show up, enjoy, and ask your questions.
Yeah.
And all the way to we work in South Florida with a group called Diversity in Aquatics that focuses on bringing wellness and mindfulness to underrepresented and different aspects in South Florida. They use a Stranahan pool, which is very accessible, and they have open water swimming sessions in the pool, leading up to the race, so people can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And when you do the event, it's not the first time that you've had an open water experience. So that's very cool. Like having this support system without having to go and join a group or formally, you don't have to join the gym, you don't have to necessarily buy the bike. Yeah, I think that is what makes Mighty Mohair different than from, you say, the other sprint triathlon, that you don't see a lot of beginners. So you don't see a lot of women, quite frankly, shaped like me at some of these events. But at my event, you do, because we know it's worthwhile. The other thing that I do here at this event is we have a Women's Wellness Expo at the finish line. So you'll see that. We offer women-owned businesses the chance to set up a booth for free. And then we charge some of the other community businesses that are there. And it's just helps to, number one, give something for the spectators to do while you're on the bike, quite frankly. Because it's
Oh, so while we're waiting for the finish line,
yeah.
they could
Yeah,
go
so
to the
it's
spectator
downtime.
booth. They could do all the other things. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. So I have some questions here. I want to back up a little bit into the prep
Sure.
because everybody seems to be curious. Thank you, RM. Welcome for dropping the website. I'm excited to be a part of this wonderful event, Mighty Mohair Miami Triathlon, this Sunday. Registration is still open, and it's just interesting to hear how one, first enters this space, and then the journey of you competing or first participating, and then making an experience that others can enjoy. It's very interesting, and making it so that it's accessible to a wide range of athletes, or should I say athletic abilities, so that people from all walks of life, first race, type people, this sounds like the type of race you would want to do. I'm excited about that. So everybody keeps saying, okay, cool. Sergio added, triathlon is a whole different beast and world. It's an experience like no other. I like you, Christina. Tell them about training and the beast known as brick workout days. That was like, what? Same thing with Mr. Untouchable. He says, what does the prior training before the event look like? Walk us through the process. So I really am curious, and so is my audience. I see one of my wonderful other YouTubers started a show. I'm like, where did everybody go? Some people went over to Lead Attorney's channel, saw love, but I definitely want her to talk a little bit about the prep, and I know some of you guys are going to go back and forth. But yes, tell us more about what it would look like, how long it would take to actually prepare to participate.
So we have women that start training 4 weeks before the event. Again, it's a sprint triathlon, so that's very doable. Usually, training starts by Googling what to do to train for a triathlon. And you come up with a lot of information that's overwhelming and confusing. And then you may go to our website and sign and plan on attending one of the free clinics, quite honestly. Or you may go straight to our website and click on Full Circle Coaching and sign up to be part of that program. Because what Coach Erin does is she does a specialized program to get you ready for Mighty Mujer Triathlon Miami. And everyone who I know that has signed up with her program for our race has continued with her for the next race. She even has an athlete that's done all of the Mighty Mujer triathlons last year. And knock on wood, thank goodness we were able to have them safely in person last year. There was a lot of adjustments and reduction in field size, but quite frankly, it starts by swimming, biking, and running, right? And what does that look like for you? So what are you already doing? So if you don't know how to swim, I would say registering for a triathlon is one of the hugest motivations to learn to swim. If you've had that on your bucket list forever and you've just never kind of done it, register for a triathlon. It will get you swimming in the water. And that's from my experience being at the university. I worked, aquatics. I was in charge of swim instructors and swim lessons, and I was also running the triathlon program. And we would see sometimes that students who didn't know how to swim would learn how to swim for an event. And so what does that mean? You're not necessarily a super proficient swimmer, but you know how to maybe breaststroke and backstroke and doggy paddle.
Okay. That would be me. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
And most people use freestyle in a triathlon as a swim. For me, I've been a lifeguard instructor. I've been a swimmer for a long time. I've been very active. I would usually end up doing breaststroke at some point in a race. And that's because you go in, you're super frantic. You want to go as fast as you can. You're in a race. It's the beginning of a race. You're super hyped. You have all this adrenaline. And halfway through the race, quite frankly, I haven't made it out of the water yet. So I need to take a little break. So my break is breaststroke. Some people's break is turning over to their back and doing just kicking and going along. I have never been in an event as an experienced triathlete where I wasn't at the event start feeling like I wasn't my best self to do the event. And then I've never finished the event thinking that wasn't my best self that showed up for the event. So
you felt ready. You felt
ready.
Okay.
You feel like you're not ready even if you are ready. And then at the end, you're like, I want to go sign up for that again. That was the best experience.
As long as y'all got lifeguards, as long as y'all got people that skill.
And that's something else people don't know. So when there's lifeguards on the swim, you can actually hang on to the lifeguard. As long as the lifeguard is not moving you forward, you can take a little break. And we make sure to tell people that at our clinics. So we don't like anyone hanging onto the buoy, and the buoy does tend to move, so that gets a little gray area. But lifeguards are usually stationary in a race, and you will hold on and they will talk you through it. They'll say, hey, how's it going? What's up? How can, you got this. And they'll give you honest feedback because number one, they don't want to have to save you. Like they don't want you to die.
Take a break right here. Take a break. Fall on your back right there. Fall on your back.
Like, and they're a real judge of it, right? Because they're
Yeah.
seeing from a high level perspective how you got to their board and what you can really give. And sometimes we don't know that as ourselves because we're just like, oh my God.
And I'm competitive too. I don't want to give up. And I'm scared that my body will give up. Y'all welcome. I see some new folks in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Suzette Speaks Show. Quick reset. I'm here with Miss Christina Reddick. She is the founder, producer of 𝙒𝘼𝘏𝘆𝘆 Triathlon Miami. It'll be this Sunday, CB Smith Park. Just talking about the preparation part. So she's telling us that lifeguards are in the mix, y'all. I was thinking about this whole time. I'm like, I hope I have people that can save people. For folks like me, where I already know I would need more preparation in the swimming department, but you're saying get a coach, get around a group, and have someone else evaluate your ability more so than just being on your own by yourself saying you're swimming, because open water swimming, as you've stated before, is way different than like pool swimming.
Right.
So
and our one at CB Smith Park is open water, but it's in a lake.
That's right. CB Smith has a lake.
So there's no current. And I always get this question about alligators. So CB Smith Park has lots of water sports on their lake. So that's why I'm comfortable having this event at CB Smith Park.
I was always told as a Florida girl, if there's a body of water, there's an alligator in it.
Yeah, you can't prevent the wildlife from occurring. But I will say that, of the many lakes in South Florida,
I doubt CB Smith would have an alligator in it. I really doubt that, because so many people are in that lake.
Exactly. And that's how you come as a race director to trust like certain venues, things like places that are used for other sports and things like that. It's already a safe environment and a welcoming environment for these. Now the bike, there's so many ways to train for the bike. You can go to a spinning class, you can steal your kids or your cousins or whoever's bike. Okay, I'm not endorsing stealing, borrow. The one thing I will say is you want to make sure you have a helmet. We require helmets during all races. All triathlons do. You can't even exit transition without a helmet. We just won't let you do that because it's unsafe. So one of the things you may have to buy is a helmet, but you don't need $100 helmet. You can buy the cheapest helmet you can find off of Amazon. You can find the slowest, fattest tire bike you can find to practice. And really, if you're not ready for the run, you can walk it. And I've done that before, and we've always had people that I've never seen anyone, maybe it happens, but I've never seen anyone finish the race and they're walking it and they're like, man, I had to walk that.
Usually they want to, I'm sure.
Across the finish line, that's the happiest day of their life.
So are we talking about 2 months and you could probably be ready for this, 6 months or 3 months? What do you think is a normal prep time?
I would say 10 to 6 weeks, to be honest. 10 to 6 weeks. So, because 10 to 6 weeks gives that, okay, you're going to have a week where you do nothing. Like that gives you time to goof off or whatever.
Yeah.
But after you do your first race, you will get more competitive. And when you want to get more competitive, that's really when you want to find your group, you want to find your coach, you want to figure out what makes sense for your life to incorporate this style of fitness, this style of health, this style of mental development and fortitude into your life. Does that mean, you bring your kids along, you get your kids into the sport? Does that mean that this is something you can do and, you can jump on a bike before anyone in your house wakes up? Or does this mean like you're just signing up and doing these races and you're like, okay, I'm training with this person. And, like I said, now with COVID, coaches, almost all coaches, especially coaches we work with, they all have virtual training plans and programs in place.
So y'all game? What's up? I like what I'm hearing. Yes, I heard you gassing. He was in the military. He says it sounds like some basic training going here. It probably is intense at first, depending on your fitness level, wherever you're beginning. So all of us are at different fitness levels. So you know your body. Some of us will take more work than others, but 10 weeks is not even that long. It's a good amount of time, and I think it would be a good just a fitness challenge because I think you could do something for 2.5 months and really be focused and meet that goal, and then feel great afterwards and feel like what I put my mind to it. I set a goal and I accomplished it. I really have to get with a swimming coach. That would be or get with a team where I could be the bike or the run person and tag team.
I cannot recommend if you are Broward or even a little, close to Broward and Broward Sewellville. I cannot recommend Diversity in Aquatics enough. It's
Diversity in Aquatics program, Broward County.
Yeah, and Diversity in Aquatics itself is a national program, but they have a triathlon council that's local, and they do swim training specifically for triathlon outside of me and Mighty Mujer in our space, but they definitely have been with me from day one on Mighty Mujer Triathlon. And I think that, they have great structure, they have great coaches, and they have great volunteers. So some of the, like I come to call the elders in our community that are giving back. Some of these people have had amazing race experiences, and they'll tell you like, it's not that. Anyone can do it. And so when you have someone who's done 50 Ironmans telling you, oh, it's nothing, anyone can do this, you're like, okay. But then you also have them say like, well, on my first triathlon, I had to swim on my back or something like that. Then you realize like, it's doable for everyone. And like I said before, you don't ever have to do longer than a sprint distance. It doesn't matter what distance you do. You cross that finish line, you are a triathlete for life.
Yeah.
So this is a new thing you are.
I am inspired, y'all. Welcome, guys. I see you, Miss Abigail Cousins in the building. She was a former guest. Sunbreeze doing my duties. Yes, and Lashes Journey. Well, go on. Nice to see you, hun. Thanks for coming by. We have Miss Christina Reddick. She is the founder director of Mighty Mujer Triathlon in Miami, talking about her experience putting this wonderful race, or I would just say experience, together. And it'll be held this Sunday. The registration is still open, even if you just want to come watch and hang out. There is a wonderful section where there will be vendors, as she stated, while the race is going on. So people will be racing, but you can go shop and support local businesses. And yes, listen, Kimo, Suzette will enter with a 2-seater bike just to help me. That's how I picture myself. I'm like, oh my gosh. So how long is the entire race? So how long do people take with the swim is always first?
Yeah. Usually you can do reverse triathlons, and you have different multi-sport events. So you can do duathlons, which have no swimming. But what seems to be the most popular and gets people hooked and the best experience is you swim first, then you bike, and then you run. So the swim, will be done, and because we stagger the start, we don't have everyone start at the same time. That's another thing that we do that makes our race a little bit more beginner friendly. For our particular race in Miami, what we do is we separate the first timers from the experienced triathletes.
Oh, hallelujah. Okay.
Yeah, so the experienced triathletes go first. It's to encourage the first timers. Sometimes I feel like I have to keep them from running for the hills, but then you are swimming among other first timers, which for me as a triathlete, I think that changes the experience a lot in the race. And then, you get on the bike. So you have 3 hours to finish our sprint triathlon because of where it is and the way we structure it. Most people don't need 3 hours. So basically we're there until everyone finishes.
Okay, so most likely won't need that time, guys. And I'm glad you separate the vets from the newbies, because I would be so intimidated that someone would outswim me, overswim me, and I'll be looking crazy. But I love the fact that you've thought about these things. Like, no, use it as motivation to have the people who have done it before go first, and then hopefully the rest of us will be able to catch up or at least try. Sergio, my triathlete, says, Suzette, here are good triathletes to learn about to help you if you want to learn more. Flora Duffy, Lucy Charles Barclay, Jan Frodeno, and Patrick Lange. I would assume you know some of these names.
A couple. I would
Yes.
add to that list, though, 𝙒𝘼𝘽𝙎, who was the first pro African American female triathlete. So
𝙒𝘼𝘽𝙎. Okay, learning some history today. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I am open because, like I said, if you are not challenging yourself in life, sometimes you just need some of these little sparks. So it sounds to me, because I'm like, how would I utilize this? And I got to think about with my black self, my hair need to go in braids or whatever, which is totally possible, just so I could get in that pool every few days and that kind of thing. And like you said, this diversity, say it again, the diversity
in aquatics.
in aquatics. Diversity in aquatics would definitely be a group I would have to tap into, so that I could get that swim part, with a little bit more comfort and less mental block than I probably have at this very moment. And but the running and the bike sound fun. It is just a matter of training. We have some wonderful, from Dade to Broward, we have some wonderful trails here at different parks and reserves. Nature centers here in Broward or in Miami are just beautiful. Like you said, you could do along the beach. That A1A ride is beautiful as well, and run. I was like, I didn't know St. Thomas ran cross country down at the beach. That's perfect. That, and in the sand, I'm sure.
That was quite a while ago. That was
No, but I'm like, hello, duh, we should have been there. We were running around like a big, just for basketball training, conditioning. We have a big lake close to that school that we used to run around. I think it was actually banned after a while that students couldn't run around it, but we would be in like the 3 o'clock sun running around this lake, which was fun as well. But yeah, as far as the fitness goals, I can see it. I can absolutely see it. Talk about a little bit more about your journey on the spiritual side of that feeling of accomplishment, as you said, that feeling of unity. I guess just the human emotion, that human desire to conquer, a challenge. And once you overcome it, there's a sense of accomplishment that can, spark you guys. So if you are needing something that can boost your mental and spiritual sensibilities, it sounds like triathlon could be that vehicle. Tell us about that side of it for you. Have you had any transformational experiences? Maybe the first one, maybe your last one, where you felt that sense of like spiritual elevation, mental elevation, as well as physical.
So yes, so a couple of times that happened for me, and the one time that I really reflect on is swimming, getting out of the swim, and just having this overwhelming sense when I was in transition that I was among equals, to be quite honest. There are very few times in my life I feel that way. So I grew up from Miami. I had a career criminal father. I went through foster care and eventually ended up with my mom. So I have all this like self-defining things that I bring with me, or I brought with me as an adult, that always made me feel that I was never like I had to make up for in my life. And in one of the triathlons, and students were there watching me, cheering me, and alumni. We had created this large group, and I was in transition, and I just felt like I was among other humans that were human, having a human experience with me. And so then I got on the bike, and it was Escape to Miami that I was doing. I had this experience in. So a lot of the trauma and a lot of the things that I experienced happened in Miami, in these places. So I'm on the bike and I'm looking at things, and I'm not having flashbacks or negative memories, but I'm feeling this connection with Miami in a way that I never had before. I always felt like, okay, I left Miami behind. I'm a new person. I'm defining who I am, you know, like I get to decide. And, you know, I detached from all of that generational trauma and things like that. And I'm now living my life in Broward. Yes, I work at FIU, was like, you know, Aventura, you know, like it's not Miami. And I realized, you know, I'm cycling in this race past some of these places where these horrific experiences happened as a really young child.
Wow.
And that was so transformational for me. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little shook up. Because it was like the way I conquered Miami, which I never conquered Miami, but in a way I did. I conquered Miami, and I also became, I guess, the person from Miami that I was running away from. You know, I no longer, you know, like I went after that race. I felt different about where I came from. I felt different about my city. I felt different about myself, and I, you know, didn't actually do the run in that race. So that run is really hard, really hot. And I'm a slow person, so it's extra hot for me because I'm finishing the run later than everyone else. And so I was able then to pass off the timing chip to my relay partner who was waiting for me, who then ran. And then I was able to kind of just reflect and be in this space and be in this environment and, you know, just be around all these people and then have that finish line experience and, you know, that person then crossing the finish line. And I think I, you know, came into who I am a little bit through that race. Now, obviously, that's a very personalized experience and kind of like what you asked for, so that's what I give. But I've heard so many people have transformational experiences through triathlon. Even 𝙒𝘼𝘾𝙆 talks about, you know, what led her into triathlon and her story a little bit. So if you follow her on social media, you'll come across it. You know,
Share it with us real quick. How do you spell her name?
𝙒𝘼𝘾𝙆 and then Henry, HENRY.
𝙒𝘼𝘾𝙆.
Yeah, and the New York Times actually did a piece on her this year. So yeah. So she's made
Wow.
it. She's
Yo,
made
she's big time. She's in the
it.
New York Times. She's big time. Yo, that's really great. I
Yeah.
am moved by what you've just shared. Thank you for sharing that. That oftentimes therapy comes in different forms.
Yeah.
And for some, it's in the therapist's office sitting or across the screen getting counseling. For others, it's on a bike and in the water in your city, a place that maybe in earlier years caused you so much pain. Now you feel like, and I think the right word is conquered Miami.
Yeah.
And I love that because now you've disassociated. It's not only associated, I should say, with the negative experiences, but now with something so powerful and so positive, and it would allow you to kind of have that breakthrough. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, and now, I mean, it's definitely changed the way I interact with Miami, you know, and go to these places and be my full self and don't feel that I have to be guarded of who I am. I can show up bringing everything with me, bringing my experience of trauma, bringing my experience of happiness, being my triathlon experience, and realizing, I think too, I've realized with this concept of transition, we come from a South Florida, very transient space.
Yes.
And there's a lot of energy and a lot of creation that goes on. And I experienced that in triathlon. You know, that transition space is, like I say, the secret sauce to triathlon. So it's very few experiences you have in life where you have to train your mind to do an automatic shift, a quick shift. So you're focused on swimming, so engulfed in swimming and so engaged on swimming. And then you get to a point where you have to focus on getting in transition, and you're in transition and it's incredibly quick. You have to shift focus like within seconds, really. Even if you take 2 minutes, you're really shifting your focus for seconds. And then you get on the bike. And the way these things are, I mean, it's not a walk in the park. It's accessible. I believe anyone can do it, but you're cycling in a race. So you have to be super focused on cycling in the race. And even if you're not, just being in the race on the bike lends you to be. So you're watching the people pass you, and you come back, and really then you're racking your bike and you're shifting gears again to the run. And that's what I
That's a
take.
life lessons. Woo.
Yeah.
And an increased focus, I just hear that as like being able to be present, what people
Mm-hmm.
are calling mindfulness, because a
Yep.
lot of us cannot. We are, our focus as to what is in this moment needed, as opposed to what happened in the past or what will happen in the future, consuming our thoughts, which is very common now. We've had so much time over the last, 18, 19 months now to be focused in the wrong direction, on the wrong things, and the things that have caused us pain. But to be in that moment, when you said, I understand now when you say you were having a human experience, because when you were looking at, what demands your focus, that leaving the bike. Because I remember even watching on television, like the commentary between transitions. I'm like, dang, there's so much going on to leave the water, how you do it, watching what's going on around you, the heightened sense of what is going on right at that moment, what it takes to do that transition well is, I think, a life lesson about the eyes and the ears and listening to for all the senses to be present even now in this moment that we're having here, and what it's supposed to be doing and what it's supposed to be teaching us. It's a beautiful thing to experience, especially if you've been out of touch from the very present and its gifts for a long time. I can hear that. I can feel that would be a wonderful way to reawaken one sense of what it takes to, like, right now is the most exciting thing you're ever going to be doing right now. But triathlon is like on steroids. It's like, whoa, don't get hit, don't do that, move over, get it on. And like, I could only imagine. I can feel the adrenaline rush of that moment, and how it will center you. It will have you in a space of now more than a lot of things will. Thank you for sharing that. That's very good insight. Well, I want you to we've had thank you, Sunbreeze. Wish you the best. Thank you, Sunbreeze, saying thank you for sharing, contributing your journey, Christina. You are most definitely a fabulous woman. I see Matt V Tech Type R says 4 months preparation.
Well, it could be 4 months.
I would be in that category. I was thinking to myself, truly, let's just be real with where you are now. Like, I lift weights. I don't run a lot right now. Yeah. So I would have to just get my body. That's a different type of exercise from toning. So you have to, go back to fitness. You get your flexibility, you get your endurance up. You got to get your strength. Different parts of fitness have to be worked on. So I hear you when it comes to that, Matt. But you were saying it depends on the person. Yeah, you guys, I've enjoyed. Do you want to leave us with any type of success stories from some of your participants? Other people who have had similar transformational experiences for some things in their lives, or just having a wonderful race day and just a memorable experience in general? Or, one of yours, hey, Ebony, welcome. You're not too late. I know we got a lot going on with different YouTubers live. My phone notifications are going off like crazy. So I'm grateful for you guys who are here and watching and listening. Hit the like button for me, guys. Hit the subscribe button as well. And share if you'd like. I'm going to be putting this. I should have simulcasted this on my Facebook, but I will share it now on my Facebook pages. And if you guys know of people who have been thinking about ways to get in shape. And let's not forget the mental and spiritual part that she just described. So if you're looking for something new to try, a challenge, especially for 2022, to kind of get us jump started. How often do you do this? Once a year?
Yeah, so I do it once a year, but I'm planning on bringing more 𝘎𝑚𝑖ghty 𝘎𝑚𝑾𝙃 to Florida.
So. Oh, okay. I'm like, well, I could probably definitely be ready by next.
Yes, and
next
the family is earmarked for the Sunday before Christmas next year. So
okay, wonderful. So we know it'll be back.
Yeah, and I would suggest, like, honestly, if you're unsure about this, come out, have a good time, check out the expo, get up a little early, have that. and check out the finish line and check it out, and then decide at what point next year makes sense for you to start getting into the sport. But I have to plug two more things
Sure.
about it. Okay, number one, we do have a charity that's very dear to my heart, Pace Center for Girls, and we're in Broward, so we work with the Broward. We raise funds, so the way we raise funds is through athlete donations, and also we're going to be hosting you, Suzette Speaks, and the finish line. So we're going to be broadcasting that live. It's a $5 fee to pay for the pay-per-view broadcast. And Indie One is the platform we're using to make that pay-per-view live. And we will have all the proceeds go back to Pace Center for Girls for anyone that watches the broadcast. Registration for that broadcast is also on the website. So if you can't make it out, or you're intimidated, or you don't want to get up that early, but you want to check it out, you want to see if it's something for you, you want to experience the excitement of the event, that is a way to do it. And it also goes back to sponsor our charity sponsor, Pace Center for Girls Broward. Or if you register for the event, you can also fundraise. It's a little late to try to fundraise, but if you register and fundraise $500, we refund your registration fee. So then you race for free. And 100% of all those donations that come in for Pace Center for Girls go back to Pace Center for Girls. I forgot the other thing I was going to plug.
So we were definitely talking about, hopefully it'll jog your memory before. I am grateful to be a part of this wonderful event. So just to say that one more time, if you guys can't come physically, if you don't want to wake up, or if you're not in South Florida, I have a lot of viewers that are outside of the immediate area. You can support this because there's a charity, as she said, Pace Center for Girls. It is for, I hate the word at-risk girls, but challenged young ladies who are given a lot of great resources and counseling and opportunities through the Pace Center. So this race sponsors them. So for $5, you can watch the finish line from the comfort of your home. You can see me in action, woohoo, doing my thing, announcing the times, letting the ladies know, hey, this is your moment. You did it. As you said, that sense of triumph and victory we're going to have at the finish line. And you'll be able to watch it via Zoom for just $5. And then you said the proceeds from that will go to Pace Center.
Yes.
So definitely check out the website, guys. We've been dropping it in the chat. I will also, I'm going to put, I think I have dominativedevelopment.com in the description already, but I'll double check. And you can look at all these options. Again, if you just want to check it out and you want to support a good cause, you can watch it via Zoom. We also have said registration is still open. So if you are in that physical shape, sounds like a couple of you guys, not all of us, a couple of you guys will be able to come in and just jump right in. You can do so. When you said it closes Thursday, so you can still register, fundraise if you feel to. You don't have to, and if you do fundraise a certain amount, you get your registration feedback, which is pretty cool. So so any other final announcements? I want to make sure we touch base. So is it a thing where, and this might be dumb, I don't know, you bring your own gear and then you pre-set it up at each transition point? Is that how it works? You bring your own clothes or your bike and stuff?
Yeah, so you do the whole race and pretty much all the clothes that you have. I usually, if you don't have a tri-suit, I usually recommend for women to do the swim in a sports bra or a bathing suit, and then put with their bike in transition just some shorts to put over. If you have cycling shorts, that's best as far as comfort level. But if you have a nice cushioned seat on your bike, that will do for the 11 miles. Also, we have one transition, so you set everything up on race morning. So transition is opened at a certain time, transition closes, and then we have all the athletes go down to the swim start, and then we break them up into groups, and every group goes with a couple minutes in between so that we're not all on top of each other. Yeah, and then you leave, you always make sure you have your timing chip on at all parts of the race, very important. The timing that you will get when you arrive. It come to packet pickup. It has your bib number. It has your wristband. We like to use the temporary body tattoos with the number just because they're a little fancy and everyone loves them. And yeah, you put everything on the bike. So your running shoes, your socks if you want to do socks. Some people prefer running without socks. Your bike, your helmet. If you want to wear gloves on the bike, you can. And you walk down to the swim start with your goggles and your swim cap in hand.
Wow, this sounds like I can't wait to see this. This sounds like a full production.
Yeah,
We have. If you guys want me to go live, I'll go live. It's gonna be early. I'll be over there, what, 7 a.m. or thereabout, a little earlier. I'm looking forward to seeing the start. I hope I get there just right, for your start, so I can see what it's like for the athletes. About how many people do you have registered? About how many people do you anticipate?
We have about 100 registered. We're hoping for 150, so I hope I can get a lot of last minute registration.
Yay! That's big.
Smaller this year. I think, oh my God, I think 2 weeks ago, I just got really superstitious. And I was like, every time I talked to someone over there, it was like, oh my God, I'm jinxing it. Something's going to happen. They're going to shut it.
No, we're going to have a good race.
I feel confident now. Like, this is what the last 2 years have done to me as a race director.
No, yeah, we're all paranoid. That's why I just announced that I'm probably going to do a brunch for, I don't know if I'm going to make it co-ed. Some of the guys are asking me. I have it in my spirit that I might have to start making my stuff co-ed, guys. I don't know, but I'll let you know for sure. But guys, let me know if you're interested. But yeah, I'm scared. I was scared to pick a date because I'm like, oh, I hate being let down. I have things, I advertise things, people look forward to things, and then boom, we can't do it. But we got to make sure we just put our best foot forward. Things will line up. We believe they will line up, run smoothly, and it will be a fun day. We know that. We have faith that the weather and everything else will cooperate, and that we'll have a fun and exciting and memorable race day. But you guys, I've enjoyed my special guest. Have you? Please check out the website. Again, Miss Christina Reddick, 𝙒𝘼𝘏𝘾𝙃 Triathlon Miami, y'all. This is happening this coming Sunday, CB Smith Park. It's not too late. If you're in shape enough and you can swim, go ahead and register. If you want to come out watch, wonderful. If you want to do via Zoom, you can do that. $5, and it goes to Pace Center for Girls in Broward County. I'm so excited. It should be fun. You guys, I'm looking forward to a fun day myself as the finish line host and MC. And again, if you're watching, if you plan on watching the Zoom, you'll see me announcing the times, announcing the names of all the ladies as they cross the finish line on Sunday. So it will be fun, you guys. I'm excited. And maybe it'll open me up. I hope it will open me up to a whole new world. Like I said, the block of my head is like, swim for how far? Swim where? In not a pool? Okay, let's think about that. But nothing is impossible. It's the beauty of life, and there's something about that feeling of accomplishing that takes us to a whole another level in terms of our self-belief and what we know then we can now do. And as she said, people believe I can do anything once you finish a triathlon. So it's something to definitely put on the bucket list, y'all. Even if it's not this year, as she said, it's coming up this same time next year in December 2022. But definitely support. I hope you guys will visit at least the website, check it out. Tell a friend if you know people who are very much into this, or if you're going to be the first in your friend group, even better. We are excited. It should be a fun race. Like I said, this will be my first time attending any triathlon myself, so I'll be learning as well. But I'm just happy to connect with this fantastic woman who has dedicated herself to this type of work, and how impactful I'm sure it's been over the last few years, and it will continue to be starting again on Sunday. And I'm excited for you, and I'm grateful to be a part. So you guys, hit the like button. I'm going to let her go. I told her I'd be done by 4, so I'm excited. Hit the like button, share. I will repost on my other pages, my social media pages, but you guys please do like and share if you can. I want to thank my special guest, once again, Miss Christina Reddick, the 𝙒𝘼𝘏𝘾𝙃 Triathlon Miami this Sunday, for coming by, explaining to us, the beginner folks, how it all works, how she got involved. And listen, Sunbreeze, what you want? Listen, buy the Zoom, buy the triathlon Zoom.
Pay the $5.
Yes, check me out. I will be, but through their Zoom. Like I
Yeah.
said, as a part of a fundraiser for Pace Center for Girls, they will have a camera set up. It will be at the finish line with me as I'm there, kind of announcing the names and watching the people make the final, run, the dash, if some are dashing still by that time, across the finish line, and we're gonna announce their times and such, so you can catch it. But it will be on go to dominativedevelopment.com, or RM. Thank you, RM has been dropping the Mighty Mujer triathlon.com/Miami website as well. So yes, I will be live, but it will be via their Zoom. If I'm going live, it'll be like 2 seconds where everybody's running and I'm bored, and I'm going to be looking around the bazaar and just checking it out and showing you guys. But definitely support, if you can, this wonderful event, because it gives back to young girls who are less fortunate. So that's what we want, Sunbreeze. So thank you to my, if you going live. Yes, on that Zoom. Hey, Gaston, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you hosting. We're going to be out there. I got my little outfit together. So promise you I won't be participating except with the mic in my hand. I'm excited, though. Thank you for inviting me, Christina. Can't wait for a wonderful race day. And thank you for coming on to kind of enlighten us and expose us, right, to new and wonderful experiences like a triathlon. So God bless. I'll be talking to you soon. And thank you guys for watching. All right. You guys check out her website, hit the like button, and appreciate you being here. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys very soon. Take care.